आज लिंग्विस्टिक के बारे में कुछ जानकारी शेयर करना चाहेंगे। लिंग्विस्टिक क्या है? इंग्लिश में linguistics as field of knowledge is a lot more than a mere boring academic study of language. Here is an introduction to the exciting world of linguistics and its various branches. The world of linguistics has entered the field of academia for quite some time now. Apart from the fact that it is generally something to do with languages, it appears that very few are aware of what it really is. Is it just a field of knowledge about or concerning languages? Is it merely an area of academic concern that is taught as a subject in higher education? Does it really concern something that is of general interest to all? Does it apply to, or is it a contributory force to life in general? Is it just a rather boring part of English language and literary studies? A random feedback suggests that to many it is something that is esoterically academic, which appears on the list of subjects in the curricula of universities. A linguist is still often even confused with a polyglot. Origin of linguistics. Linguistics evolved as a serious field of knowledge only in the last 2 centuries. The basic definition that it is the study of language as a basic human attribute is still valid. However, what is important is that we now know that the basic human faculty of the conveying and exchanging of mental concepts that through vocal expressions of noises conveniently called speech is just a surface realization of a lot of very complex psychosociophysical underlying factors and processes, and that it is an open-ended area of study. Also, we now know that language per se is not the same as a language, and that the former is related to the latter more or less like life is related to a living being. Traditionally, proletarian notions and sayings about language have also become questionable. For instance, the commonplace definition of language as a means of communicating ideas will not make much sense, as we are now discovering that the very process of ideation itself may well be through linguistic units and categories created by or through a language. In other words, how can language be defined as means of conveying thoughts when it is difficult to have ideas without having a language to think in? Linguistics deals with language primarily as a spoken thing, as only a small percentage of the world's languages appear in the written form. The famous American linguist Noam Chomsky even argued that linguistics should in fact be a branch of psychology.